Congressman Pete Meijer from House Homeland Security and Congressman Lee Zeldin from House Financial Services. Your reaction to the reporting you just heard, Congressman Meijer?
Well, I think it's just very clear that the Russian forces have overextended themselves. I mean, and that's, I think, why you see them resorting to indiscriminate bombing and shelling of civilian areas, violations of international law of armed conflict, war crimes, because, frankly, they are not a top-notch military, and Putin is getting desperate.
To Congressman Meyer's point, Congressman Zeldin, it's good to see you. Russia's bombing evacuees, the new humanitarian corridors for Ukrainians to get out. It's heading to Russia and its ally Belarus, and Ukraine's leaders calling this move completely immoral. Your reaction to that?
It is. And as Congressman Meijer just pointed out, we have violations of multiple international laws. Russia is now losing the information operations internationally throughout the entire globe. You've seen Ukraine do a very good job in utilizing social media, getting out videos and stories so that people can watch these atrocities in real time. And you're also seeing a dynamic with regards to the Russian troops that must be demoralizing, where they're not encountering an adversary that they were told that was ahead of them. They're not coming across Ukrainian government and people that is looking to inflict that kind of harm that the Russian government was sending down its ranks. And that has to be greatly impacting the moral purpose and focus of the Russian troops.
He's deliberately slaughtering children, women, and men. The situation on the ground is terrifying and heartbreaking. Watch this.
Pap! Papa! Ой, папочка мой! Не умирай, пожалуйста! Я тебя прошу.
We will win. I believe that. I believe my country. I believe my people. They are a hero.
Show the New York Times homepage, a family of 4 dead. Secretary of State is collecting evidence of Putin's war crimes. He deliberately bombed a second nuclear facility. It is in Kharkiv. It's an atomic facility that has a nuclear reactor in it. It's a Kharkiv Physics Institute. Congressman Meijer, Russian war crimes. There's a run in Europe on potassium iodide pills. They're worried about a nuclear accident, Congressman Meijer.
I mean, this just shows the utter recklessness with which Vladimir Putin has operated. I mean, that horrible video we just saw, these are the same tactics that the Russian forces alongside the Syrians perfected, bombing Aleppo, bombing Homs. And now we're seeing that exact same thing playing out in Europe. And the threat of a nuclear catastrophe, I think we need to take incredibly seriously, because right now at this point, it's hard to know what Putin's end game is. Yeah. He's being defeated on the battlefield. He's being destroyed economically. And just God forbid that he pulls the ultimate madman card here.
Yeah, because 3 days after Putin sent in his troops, he put his nuclear arsenal on high alert. That same day, Russian ally Belarus, Congressman Zeldin, they voted to say, listen, we're going to take back on nukes. So, Congressman Zeldin, let's listen to Senator Marco Rubio say no to a no-fly zone. Senator Manchin says yes. Watch this.
A no-fly zone, if people understood what it means World War III. It's not some rule you pass that everybody has to oblige by. It's the willingness to shoot down the aircrafts of the Russian Federation.
Would you support a no-fly zone?
This is not the Russian people's war. This is Putin's war and his quest for whatever it may be. But to take anything off the table thinking we might not be able to use things because we've already taken them off the table is wrong. I would take nothing off the table.
Congressman Zeldin, how would Trump have handled that? How would Trump have handled a no-fly zone and what's going on in Ukraine?
Well, I don't even believe that Putin would have invaded Ukraine if President Trump was still in office. I believe that one of the reasons why Vladimir Putin went into Ukraine was sensing a vulnerability that manifested itself last August with the withdrawal from Afghanistan. And also the way Secretary Blinken was indicating threats of strongly worded letters and sanctions that don't amount to much. President Biden green-lighted a minor incursion, and then the White House tried to clean that up, but damage was done. So I don't even believe that we would have been in this position in the first place. We need to lead, be strong, be consistent, and effective, and right now that's not happening at the highest levels of the U.S. government. I can't answer as to what President Trump might do as far as a no-fly zone debate. right now. But as we saw during 4 years of President Trump, he was focused on not entering into new conflicts and to finish up wherever possible.
Congressman Meijer, what's your reaction? What are your thoughts?
No, I think it's important to recognize that Russia is not a force that can take us head on in any traditional military conflict, and there's always that concern about something escalating to the nuclear, and that's why I'm not a supporter of a no-fly zone. I think the last thing that we want, and the first thing that Vladimir Putin wants, is he wants to frame this as Russia fighting the U.S. and NATO. And if we implement a no-fly zone, that will be exactly the case.
How do you think Trump would have handled it?
I think he would have, to Congressman Zeldin's point, I think Putin would have stepped a lot more gingerly. I think he wouldn't have anticipated what President Trump might have done, and I think that would have made him a lot more wary, looking at what happened to Qasem Soleimani, looking at how that just was ripping up a playbook that the Iranians had gotten complacent with. I think the Russians have gotten complacent with their playbook and frankly weren't expecting the international condemnation. But frankly, they got an understanding that the Biden administration was going to act in a very measured way, and Putin took advantage of that.
Congressman Zeldin, lots of questions. Why didn't Europe put in a security agreement that would have made Ukraine neutral? Why did we wait to impose sanctions on Russia? You know, Europe, why isn't Europe, should Europe be stepping up more? It's a country of, nation rather, a region of 400 million people. 21 trillion economy. Russia is 144 million, 1.5 trillion. It's because Putin is telegraphing the world right now he doesn't care. He'll bomb nuclear reactors.
Yeah, the sanction threats were clearly not enough of a deterrent, being that Putin decided to invade Ukraine anyway. I believe that Europe was slow to react, Germany especially. There was a shifting balance of power in Europe, and with the fast tracking of Nord Stream 2, that green light, and Germany's interest in relying on Russian energy to supply its own, I believe that it was a little bit of shocking reality when Putin decided to invade Ukraine, and they were just late to the reaction that was necessary.
Congressman Meijer and Lee Zeldin, thanks for joining us. It's good to see you. Breaking